Today's one of them days where I haven't actually come out here to do anything in particular. It's more a case of just looking around at things and making sure that on days like this, that sun don't get too warm for some plants in here. Especially containers with lettuce in, because they will just start to wilt down, which a couple at the front are starting to do that. So we'll probably have to move this box outside for a couple of hours, give it a bit of water until it cools down in here. That also leads to another downside of keeping your greenhouse warmer than usual for longer. The pests will be around for a bit longer also, so you've got to keep checking your plants. Because I've noticed this morning after checking a few of these plants, they've got some aphids on them. And they can be a right nuisance because they drain the sap out of the leaves of your plants to the point where that leaf dies, and eventually will be followed by the rest of the plant if you don't sort it out. Like these Chinese cabbage that we've got. If you look under leaves, that is where you're going to find them. Annoying little creatures that they are, that will destroy your plants if you leave them be. And you're going to find them hiding right in the centre of your plants as well. But a lot of the time you're going to find them under your leaves. So you need to check under every leaf. Like this one. Quite a few on there. That's only going to get worse if we don't sort it. But I've always got a mixture of homemade pesticides available. And it's a really simple one to make. Basically, a bit of washing up liquid mixed in with some water. You can also add a bit of vinegar to it if you want, to make it a bit more potent. But when you do find these insects on your plants, make sure that you lift every leaf and get underneath so you don't miss anything, and also that stem, because unless you get on top of this, these insects aren't going to go anywhere anytime soon. They're perfectly happy to drain the life out of your plant for as long as you let them. And you can see that these plants are starting to go limp. They're getting too warm, and you won't think it in October, but today has turned out to be a little bit warmer than it has been over the last few days. So you need to come into your greenhouse every day if possible and make sure everything has been watered. And then these plants, they'll soon pick back up. And especially anything that you're growing in containers like this. These carrots are drying out quite a lot. So we'll just give them a quick refreshment. But also these, they're really fine leafed lettuce. They're going really limp. So we've got to get this outside and give it a good watering as well, while trying not to squash all these leaves flat. Because we've watered that and it's still sunny, we need to move that into shade, or those leaves could still burn. And as I was saying yesterday, when it's dropping cold at night, we need to keep things covered up. Give them a chance for a little bit of extra warmth. But also remember that when you get up the next morning and it's like this, quite a lot of heat coming in from that sun, remember to take these lids off or your plants will wilt and they will die. But I also was looking at this today. It's a Chinese cabbage that we've got. We've been growing them and then moving them on into bigger pots. And we're doing that in stages. This one, it's quite a good sized plant, and it's actually the last one that I haven't moved on. So I'm going to pop it in this container and I'm going to leave it in this container. So we can try and grow the Chinese cabbage in a small container like this, big enough for us to get a decent harvest. And because I always save everything from when I sieve compost, all the rough stuff, it's been perfect to put in bottom of my container. It's going to save on my good compost, and because it's so lumpy, it's also perfect to get good drainage. And there's still nutrients in this. It's just lumpier than I'd normally use. So the roots will be quite happy to grow into the bottom of this. So I'll basically half fill it. And then I can top it up with some better quality. Then I'm going to put some fish blood and bone in here. A nice amount. And then I'll just continue filling it up. I like the nutrients to be so far down in the pots. So that's where the roots are going to be when I put this plant in. So they can get watered and fed at the same time. Make a nice deep central hole for this plant. I like to push it down as deep as I can. And then we can get this Chinese cabbage in. And I've given it a quick check over. I can't see any insects on it. But the roots are just about starting at the bottom. And I'll also get rid of these little leaves at the bottom. They're the first leaves that came out. We don't need those anymore. And we'll get this pushed right in. Need to make these plants as stable as we can right from start, because they are going to get top heavy otherwise. A quick water and we're all done. So that's the Chinese cabbage set up now. So although we came out this morning without any intentions of doing anything in particular, it was worth us to come out and just have that check, since we noticed from it being quite cold the last couple of days, and then today it's really sunny, it's really warm, plants are starting to wilt, they need attending to. But more importantly, because that heat is maintaining this greenhouse longer than it normally would at this time of year, those little aphids are back again, and they need taking care of, because when you get to October there's less of the natural predators around than there were in summer that would take care of pretty much most of those. So it's now your job to make sure you keep on top of it. And if you watch a previous video, I show you how I make the homemade pesticide to deal with soft-bodied insects like aphids, and you just make it out of household items. So the upside is keeping your plants warm in your greenhouse enables you to grow things for longer. The downside is if you just get one day where it's really sunny and you don't check, you could lose quite a lot of plants. While at the same time we've also got the microgreens in the house as well. Another thing that we need to keep an eye on, just in case there's any problems with fungus. It's 90 degrees in this greenhouse today, and obviously that's going to have something to do with this insulation we've put up. So I'm going to head down to house now. It's a bit warm. I know all these plants are alright for the rest of the day, so I can pop down to house and see how these microgreens are getting on. These lettuce are looking okay that we've got outside in this planter. We just keep picking leaves from them when we need them. Well, we've got a little bit of progress on these microgreens as well. That one's doing quite well. This one, not so good. And not a deal on this one either. Check this tray. This one seems to be doing quite well. That's the radish French breakfast. Not doing bad at all. But we're going to keep that covered up still. Let's check these peas. We've had these weighted down as well. See how they're going. They seem to be doing okay. Quite a lot of them germinating. But for the moment we still need to keep them covered up. But obviously we don't need lights to be able to do that. If we've got a sunny window, we can just pop them here and save a bit of electric at the same time. And we've been doing the same thing with these beetroots. And we've actually harvested some of these beetroots to just drop into a salad. And we just cut all the tops off. And now they're trying to grow back again. So that's pretty good. You can see which side we harvested. But now we've got all these new shoots coming up. Well, they've only been on this sunny window, so if you want to do it on a really small scale, one windowsill, a few of these plastic tubs, obviously you'd get quite a few different varieties along that window. So a little bit hit and miss on those microgreens, but we'll keep going and we can just reseed different trays and try different approaches and see which one works the best for us. The peas are doing perfectly fine, but they're going to take a little bit longer because they need to start pushing that tray up. So we will be getting some pea shoots. We can utilise different things as well because we're getting these sunny days. It's coming through that window pretty much all day at the moment. We don't have to use lights. You can just line up all those tubs on a windowsill with very small amounts of compost and grow your own microgreens on your kitchen window, just using natural daylight. So if you don't want to set up lights like we've got, you can do that. Just do it on a small scale. So thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more in future, just hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and we'll see you at next one. You all take care and have a nice weekend.